of water trickling down. That is why the building is named Aqua. An 82-story feather-free college building can ever be designed by a female architect. Her name is
Esa es la calle cuando uno viene ahí al Navy Pier. Sí.
It's a residential building like this area we're passing to our right, Lakeshore East. Originally, this area was a 9-hole golf course. It's now home to 4,900 new residents in downtown Chicago. Now, we are currently on our Chicago River. Over 100 years ago, the direction that we're currently traveling used to be the way the river flowed. Our river used to flow northeast into Lake Michigan, which is and was at that time our main source of drinking water. Unfortunately, mid-1800s, the river is densely polluted. We have a great deal of industry on the main north and south
Te agarra.
branches of our river.
Oye, casi me parte la rodilla.
Stockyards of the south branch is so bad, it caused the local area to actually bubble, giving it the nickname Bubbly Creek. Now there are pictures of chickens literally walking on Bubbly Creek at the time because of how dense that water was. So if you think about it, all that wasted runoff is going right into our river, which is headed northeast into Lake Michigan, where we get our drinking water. We are encountering like a number of problems, namely disease. People are dying every year by the hundreds and thousands of typhoid fever and cholera. Now, we think about it for a while and we figure, well, hey, if the river doesn't flow northeast into the lake, but it flows south and away from it, our problem should be solved. So we reverse the river. We currently have the only river in the world to successfully be reversed by man and continue to flow backwards. Well, how do you go about reversing a river? Well, in 1892, we began work on a sanitary and ship canal. It spans 29 miles and connects the south branch of our river to the Des Plaines River. We made the mouth of the canal just a little bit wider than the mouth of our river. We then dredged that canal 15 feet deeper than the floor of our river. So January 2nd, 1900, we opened the canal and gravity takes force, pulling the river south, rerouting it. So it no longer goes northeast into the lake, but it now goes through our sanitary ship canal to Des Plaines, Illinois, and Mississippi down to the Gulf of Mexico. We in Chicago are thrilled. Our waves doesn't bother us. It's now St. Louis's problem. Folks, we don't feel so bad for St. Louis. They just bottle it up and sell it back to us as Budweiser. We never said anything to them. Surrounding states not so happy with Chicago. They're like, hey, what's up, Chattown? Believe it or not, Chicago, you folks are not the only ones that use that lake as your main source of drinking water. Way to go, geniuses. You just reversed your little river, and now Lake Michigan is flowing freely into the Gulf of Mexico. Thanks a lot, guys. Not only are you going to drain the lake, but you are definitely taking more than your fair share. So they band together with Canada, and they sue us. We spent a number of years in court until we come up with a compromise. In 1937, that compromise was completed, the Chicago Harbor Lock, coming into view on the right-hand side as we make a turn. Now, the lock is gravity operated. The purpose of the lock is to control the amount of water we allow exit from Lake Michigan into the river. Yeah. We do allow little hiccups of Lake Michigan out into the river, but we do it in such a controlled manner to keep us from doing any major damage to the water level of Lake Michigan. The lock is free to use, open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and is operated on an as-needed basis. Now, as we continue to make this turn, I'm sure you're going to start to notice Navy Pier coming into view. Navy Pier has had a series of metamorphoses. It was originally a municipal pier when it was completed in 1918. It was used for commercial, freight, and passenger traffic. World War II, the Navy moves in. This is where it got its name and where they trained their pilots. One day classroom training, a pilot is expected to take off of that pier. As you can imagine, after only a day of training, not everyone's successful the first time out. We do have a few planes at the bottom of our lake. 1946 to 1965, it's the University of Illinois at Navy Pier holding on the name. Now when they left, it remained empty as if they'd very dilapidated over the years. Until 1995, $250 million was spent renovating it, bringing it up to what you see today. It is currently one of the largest tourist attractions, not only in the city, but in all of the Midwest. There is a lot to do at Navy Pier. We have a great children's museum, a glass museum, an IMAX theater, a grand ballroom, an indoor climate control park, an outdoor park, Habitat with original, Putt golf, and carousel. Newest attraction is a hot air or helium balloon. It rises 30 stories, stays tethered to the ground. We have fireworks off of Navy Pier every Wednesday and Saturday night from Memorial Day to Labor Day. If anyone's around the area this evening at 10:30, you'll see one of those shows. There's a beautiful beer garden, numerous shops and restaurants all up and down that boardwalk. If you have any questions or you just need directions on how to get there, don't hesitate to check out the tour. I'd love to help you out. The curvy black glass skyscraper to our right is Lake Point Tower. Now, the building was designed by two students of Vanderoos, Stormshippers, and John Heinrich. And completed in 1968 at 70 stories, world's tallest apartment building. Apartments have converted into condominiums over the years, and we've had a number of famous residents. Sammy Sosa, Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn all lived in this building. Now, there was a long-standing rumor that Oprah once resided here. Turns out it was a rumor. They just released a list of all of its famous residents, and at the base there's a little asterisk that says Oprah does not and has never lived in this building. At the very top, that circular structure is a French restaurant known as Cité. I get a lot of questions about Cité. I've never actually dined there. I'm more of a deep dish Chicago style pizza girl myself. But one of my very best friends in the company, she's also a tour guide. She made it her goal one day to save up all of her tips. And then she treated herself to dinner at the top of the building, and she said it was by far one of the very best meals she's had in the city. So if you're interested, I do know it comes highly recommended. Neat thing about the building is its view. Only skyscraper erected east of the Lakeshore Drive, due to an ordinance forbidding anyone from building on land east of Lakeshore. When these guys started to put up the building, they said, hold up, boys, we have an ordinance forbidding this, and they said, no, you do not. You only have an ordinance forbidding us from building on land, and that's land building. Of course, the ordinance now says you can't build on land or land hill east of the Lakeshore Drive. Now we're coming into view of this white fenced-off area on the right-hand side. This was going to be the site of our proposed Chicago Spire, designed by Santiago Calatrava. Had the building been completed next summer as it was due to be, it would have risen 2,000 feet, making it the world's tallest residential building. The facade was going to look like a drill bit or a corkscrew spiraling out of our ground to the sky. If you're having trouble picturing 2,000 feet, if you can, look at Lake Point Tower. If you doubled the Lake Point Tower and then you tripled it, you are just underneath what our spire would have risen to. Unfortunately, lost its funding, so it won't be completed. And while we in the city are sad to see it go, I'm sure Ty Warner, the Beanie Baby Tycoon, who dropped $40 million on the pitch house, was a little more upset than we were. Condominium towers to our right, Riverview 1 and 2 by the Stefano and Partners, completed in 2001 and 2005. There's 16 townhomes that line the base. Now, these townhomes will set you back roughly between $4 and $8 million. If you have $60,000, you are in luck. You can afford a parking space. We're coming up on Nicholas J. Malaya's Centennial Fountain. It was completed in 1989 to celebrate 100 years of clean water and the reversal of our river. Now, when we go past the fountain, note the triangle with a circle in the middle right in front of it. This is our water cannon. Now, the water cannon is designed to shoot a jet of water out and over the Chicago River. It is built that we can travel underneath it by boat without getting wet. The idea being to enjoy the beauty of water while on it and under it at the same time. It does not work. You will get very wet if you go into that fountain. It goes off every hour, on the hour, for 10 minutes from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., except 3 and 4 in the afternoon when our water traffic is at its heaviest in the river. So we do our best to avoid it as much as possible during our tours. Sheridan Hotel, one of the 5 largest hotels in Chicago. It's modeled to look like a cruise ship. You might have noticed this blue-green glass is a very common trend along the architecture of the river. It pays homage to the color of our river. We get a lot of questions about the color. Blue-green tint due to a clay bottom. The building holds a ballroom the size of a standard American football field without any pillars or obstructions in the middle of it. So theoretically, we could get the Bears in there, play a full game, all of us standing around the edge and have a rocking view because nothing would get in our way. On the other side of Columbus, we have this tan building with all the dark glass, NBC Tower. When we're right in front of it, note the black panels underneath all of the windows. These are called spandrels. Spandrels, in conjunction with all the dark glass, offer a very grandiose appearance to the tower. Art Deco in style because of the emphasis on vertical lines, setbacks of facade, modernistic influence, lack of ornamentation. Now, the building was modeled after the RCA Tower, centerpiece to Rockefeller Center in New York. As we clear it, look way back on land. You'll find a black skyscraper, X-bracing, 2 wide antennas, only a view of our Hancock. Completed in 1969. It rose at 1,127 feet, upsetting many New Yorkers because we eclipsed the Empire State Building, making it the tallest in the world at the time. Now, if you were going to go to the observatory, a lot of times it's fun to go to the signature room or lounge. It's a restaurant and bar right underneath the observatory. For the price of a beer or a cocktail, you get the same view of the surrounding 4 states. As we have a short tan building with a jet of green glass, University of Chicago Bleacher Center. The architect, Dirk Lohan, received a great deal of scrutiny for the lack of windows on the west side. When asked about Lohan said was, well, students should be inside studying, not looking